Okay, Colossians chapter 3, King James translation. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. See, I think that that's a poor translation. I don't believe the scripture is saying that covetousness alone is idolatry. He's saying all of these things are idolatry. Why are they idolatry? Because they are offerings to this body, which is an idol. Doing deeds that God says should not be done. God says you shouldn't do it. So when you do it, it's a sacrifice to this body, and the God of this body is the serpent. That's why it's idolatry. Fornication is harlotry, including adultery and incest. Uncleanness, specifically sexual intercourse during a woman's menstrual cycle, and in general, that was in Strong's, specifically sexual intercourse during a woman's menstrual cycle. I have added the rest of this. In general, the illegal use of blood, including the drinking of blood for witchcraft ritual, and other hygienically unclean and immoral acts, including oral sex and anal intercourse and sex with animals. Well, the scripture specifically talks against bestiality, sex with animals. Uncleanness means, gentlemen, putting your body in a place that is unclean, such as in anal intercourse. Inordinate affection, the Greek word is pathos, and I've been talking about pathos lust for a long time, although the definition that I've been using may apply more with concupiscence than inordinate affection, but I'll just read you what I have here. Uncontrolled passion, this is talking about driving addiction. Inordinate affection, uncontrolled passion, including, that is, lust manifesting as a compulsion. Uncontrolled passion including, meaning, lust manifesting as a compulsion that can never be satisfied, including compulsive sexual behavior, all-consuming jealousy, lust to dominate, control, and possess that which does not belong to you, addiction, in general, alcoholism, drug addiction, food addiction, gambling addiction, etc. Any driving pressure, that stealing, kleptomania, anything that drives you to do things that are destructive, is an inordinate affection. Concupiscence means lust, longing, especially for that which is forbidden. It's that longing. Then the pathos lust in particular means that you're longing for it, you're never satisfied. Covetousness is avarice, the excessive or insatiable desire for wealth, and greed, which is idolatry. And I asked the Lord, why would that be idolatry? The excessive or insatiable desire for wealth. It's idolatry because what's really behind that lust, that excessive, insatiable desire for wealth, it's really a desire to protect yourself, that you think that your money can protect you. Brethren, your money cannot protect you. Your gold cannot protect you, cannot save you from disease or death or destruction. It cannot save you. Only Jesus can save you, brethren. Your money cannot save you. There is nothing that you can hoard or gather up. Or is it wrong to have food for what may be coming? No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, everything is your motive. Nothing can save you. Nothing can save you. Only Jesus can save you. You can have 25 years of food stored up and robbers will come and steal it, and then you'll starve to death. Only Jesus can save you. Now, if you pray about it and Jesus tells you to back up food, well, everything's motive. There's nothing wrong with anything. If your heart is right, and if Jesus is telling you to do it, or if he's not telling you to do it, as long as he's not telling you to do it, as long as you don't think that what you've stored up is going to save you, if you think it's just a wise thing to do, then you can do it. So the alternate translation in verse 5 is, therefore, do not let your corporeal body engage in any of these physical activities or let your soul engage in any of these mental or emotional activities of the first Adam, the foot of the whole Adam that is upon the earth, that Christ, who is above, would not participate in, such as fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, concupiscence, evil, and covetousness. Okay, so I didn't mention evil to you. Evil is injurious. Anything that you think or do that is hurtful. Verse 8. But now that you have put off all of these, you're no longer angry. Okay, now that you put off all of this bad behavior, see, now that you put off all this bad behavior, that, as I said, comes either from physical behavior, or out of motives. Okay, now stop doing these things. You see, you can't get rid of your motives. Okay, Satan is bringing forth your motives, but when you yield to these motives, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, or behavior, concupiscence, evil, and covetousness, that all comes out of your unconscious mind. That's all coming from Satan. It comes in the form of suggestions. At this stage in our development, we cannot stop that. We cannot stop Satan from inputting these thoughts into our mind. Lust, injurious thoughts, or covetousness. It's when we agree with them. When we agree with them, there's a form of spiritual sexual intercourse that takes place between our soul, our nephesh soul, and the unconscious part of our mind, which is Satan, which brings forth demons that are called, for example, anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication. Usually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are only 5 here. Usually, these are expressed verbally. The fruit of the union, okay, between our soul saying that thought is right. She deserves that. She's no good. She did that to me. Okay? That's my conscious mind agreeing with the ungodly thought produces something that's usually expressed openly, if not to the person's face, to someone else behind their back. Anger, a passion of the mind. Wrath, a passion of the emotions. Malice, malignity, or I didn't know what, it's just my opinion of malignity. It means an evil intention. The bad, she did that, and I just pray the worst thing in the world could happen to her. Evil intentions towards her. I've actually heard people say horrible things like they should get cancer. Have you ever heard anybody say anything evil like that?
Yeah.
I've heard people say things like that. She did that, she should get cancer. Yeah. A malignant thought, evil thought. Filthy communication. Base conversation. Also base reasoning, which is the reasoning of the carnal mind. Now, of course, we're not supposed to say bad words, okay? I'm not justifying saying bad words. Sometimes people say bad words in a fit of anger. We shouldn't be doing that. But this means much more than that, okay? Communication initially begins with your soul. What comes out of your mouth is the last stage of communication. So we're talking about base conversation, in other words, speaking in low sexual terms about somebody, which unfortunately, at least men used to do it a lot. Now if they do it in hiding, okay? It used to be accepted, it used to be macho for men to say base things about women. Unfortunately, that was in the news recently with someone in public office. That should be avoided. Base conversation, talking about base things, talking about the activities of base people. Sheila, there are base people. People that are hopeless drug addicts and alcoholics that live on, that their souls are lost. They steal to get money for the drugs. Their lives are worthless. That's a base person. So I can think of more examples, but I really don't think it's necessary to put it on this tape. Also base reasoning. That's the reasoning of the carnal mind. Reasoning that comes out of a base emotions, that you really have an evil intention. so you justify it in your mind with base carnal reasoning. He hurt my father and I should kill him. Or he killed my father and I should kill him. Do you know what was in the news the other day? Talk about base reasoning. Brethren, these are the people that we're letting into the country without any respect. Well, there are people who want to let into the country without any restrictions. In Pakistan, a man was convicted of raping a 13-year-old girl. What do you think the punishment was for him? That his 13-year-old sister should be gang raped. The court in Pakistan declared that the judgment for this man raping this 13-year-old was that his sister should be gang raped, his 13-year-old sister. These are the kind of people we want to let into the country. And they're all over Europe raping like crazy. Not necessarily coming from Pakistan, but this mentality from multiple countries in the world. Why would you let them in here? Either you hate the country and you want to see it destroyed, or there's something wrong with your mind. Verse 8, alternate translation. It is now also time to renounce ungodly responses to these sins, such as anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication.